What is going on, Movie Mails? Movie Mails, we're a little late, but we always come back. Filming
That's
this
the motto.
on a day that definitely doesn't give the entire country nerves.
Existential
Uh,
dread.
um, yeah, we're here. This is episode 56. Thank you, Movie Mail patrons, Kimberly, Karen. Go get some merch. Help us get to 2,000. We'll give a hoodie like this away to a fan. Yeah, let's just get into it here. Kyle, which one of these topics you want to start with? We don't have to go in order. Which one do you want to start with?
How about you start us off with
God, why
Woman of the Hour? Because you were
you
able to
did
catch
skip.
that.
You did skip around.
Yeah, I tricked you.
Yeah, I liked Woman of the Hour. Anna Kendrick's directorial debut. Thought she did a great job. A couple scenes felt like, yeah, this is a first-time director. But for the most part, it was really good. She was very good in it. I thought all the performances were good. Some of the editing can be jarring to some. Did not get jarring to me. Some of the jumping of times and what we're doing, where we're at. But it did not bother me. I thought it was great. I thought it was fun. A fun little movie to watch during spooky season. Spooky season's now over, sadly. But not sadly, because the Christmas jingles have been jingling. But yeah, I liked it quite a bit. There's a alleyway scene that's really good, really strong and really good.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Well, I'm really looking forward to that one. Just from what you've told me previously to this recording, but you've been raving about it for sure. But I also heard from my girlfriend that the money that Anna Kendrick was able to make for this movie, I guess the money she got from Netflix was able to go towards donations towards some fundraisers or just help centers that
all
help
to women
in crisis.
Yeah. I think it was her whole salary, the whole
thing?
all of it.
Okay.
I think the whole thing, other than like we're gonna pay our crew and make sure everybody gets their dues, but outside of that, I think her entire paycheck went to it, which is really cool.
That's fantastic. Yeah.
Shout out Anna Kendrick. Come on the show.
Especially since from what I've heard, the movie does do a good job at because it's based on a true story, right? So it's from what I've heard, it just sounds like a lot of the story does a good job at not having the unfortunate things that happen with the women not be like for shock value or not be over the top. They felt very more from their point of view, and they really touched on just on their lives and just the horror that came with being scared by those events. And I just appreciate that from Anna Kendrick, that she just went the extra mile for that. So
you mean the movie?
Cool. Yeah, because it's based on true stories, right?
Yeah, but it doesn't go into any of the depth of the women.
Okay, then that was
other than the murders, other than
Gotcha.
the actual murders. Yeah,
it just seemed like it. Yeah, sorry, you keep going. You keep going.
Yeah, no, I mean it's based off of The Dating Game, which a real life serial killer won that show back in the day. It's about that, and they do jump back and forth to some of the women he did murder, but they don't necessarily. They do give you glimpses into their lives, but they don't do a. It's not about them. It's more about her character that we follow, and then him. I guess arguably he's the character you're really following. But I see what you're saying, though. No, she definitely does everything in the right way, and everything is shown. Like, you don't walk away not being disturbed by how this guy got away with all this, and how did he get on this dating show. And there's some pretty heavy moments where it's like, dang, people suck. Like, let's listen to women here. Come on.
Yeah, exactly. It's heavy, but it's towards the right reasons of, shining the light on the women and their unfortunate involvement by his, horrible acts. So, yeah, that's just what I was intending to say. So, miswording on my part earlier.
Yeah, no, you're Gucci. Yeah. Well, weren't there some other movies to review here that you had seen? I had seen, someone had seen. What was it? Conclave was one. I haven't gotten a chance to see it. You want to talk about that?
Sure, I can do that one. Very interesting movie. It is about. It's fictional. But the fictional story of it is that the Pope has died, so they are now gathering all of the other, I guess, cardinals underneath. I'm not too familiar in the Catholic faith, but from what I gathered, it was all of the other cardinals underneath the Pope that, you know, have to gather together for however long of time that it's supposed to happen to vote for the next Pope and for it to take its place. And the movie just does a really good job about making you feel suffocated along with the events going on in the movie. It does a really good job at making you filled with dread yet suspense, a little bit of thriller, a little bit of mystery going on within the movie too, because it centers around one of the cardinals who is losing sight of his faith. And at first you don't know why, but as the movie progresses, you kind of can see why, because unfortunately for voting on who is like the leader of faith, there is just a lot of deceit going on behind the scenes as to like who wants to have the power and take over as Pope. And there's just a lot of quote unquote political, exactly. There's a lot of politics, a lot of political conversations between each other that basically sum up to who is the least terrible person that we could be voting for. Like, it kind of gets to those types of breaking points throughout the movie. But I thought the cinematography was also very well done because, again, it just makes you filled with dread, but it also feels like everything is tucked away from the outside world, but on top of that, tucked away from even like the faith itself. Like, for a movie that surrounds itself with religion, the scenes aren't really they like there's no scenes where it feels like the sun is shining through like the big cathedrals that you're used to seeing in a movie such as this, you know. So I just was really appreciative of them kind of harping on the point of like, despite you know how religion needs to progress, needs to move forward, there is just a lot of this politics talk that unfortunately feels like it holds back that religion, and why our main character, played by Ralph Fiennes, who is terrific in the movie, by the way, he does a great job here, why he is losing sight of his faith as well. So just in general, it has a lot going on. Again, a lot of politics, but a lot of kind of thriller elements, mystery, but you know, despite, you know, the heaviness of religion being involved, you still are very interested in it the whole way through. And
I've heard
surprise. You go.
I've heard it's described as high school gossip in the Vatican. Is that accurate?
What are people saying? Gossip Girl meets Vatican?
No, it's just I've also heard that it's like it's an episode of Gossip Girl that takes place at the Vatican, or it's like your high school clique back in the day talking behind each other's backs.
Basically, yeah.
At the Vatican. It sounds good to me. I want to see it. Been trying for the last few days. Just been busy, a lot going on, haven't gotten a chance. Went to so many movies over the film festival, and now we're slowed down on seeing some stuff, so we gotta get back out there.
Well, hopefully you can. I would have this be at the top personally. I was very surprised.
I really want to see it.
This. Yeah.
Well, yeah, good. I want to. Just haven't had a chance. But let's move on to the other movie on the docket here that we both have seen, which is We Live in Time.
Yes.
We Live in Time is great. It's great. If you haven't seen it, you should go out and see it before it leaves theater. Florence Pugh's fantastic. Andrew Garfield's fantastic. I don't think it's quite to the level of an Oscar contender, which kind of bums me out. I think it's going to get kind of beaten and put to the wayside, but it's really good. They're both awesome in it. I don't know how you don't fall in love with both of them in the audience. Like, there are times there's arguments and like things like this where you're like, Florence, stop being mean, or Andrew, you stop being, like, you go back and forth. Like, it's real, it's relatable, it's heartbreaking, it's sad, funny. It's really funny.
Really funny. Really
and like
funny.
There's a whole scene that takes place in a gas station, and I was rolling. Yeah. It's man.
Easily one of my favorite scenes of the year. I've been doing that. I've been doing that this year. Been like keeping a list of scenes or moments throughout the year of movies that I've really enjoyed, just so that way I can go back on it at the end of the year.
Yeah, like when Glenn Powell's riding that hog into the twister itself. He's riding. Ain't no love in Oklahoma.
I mean,
you know what I'm saying?
You're not wrong, Al. That's that's on the list.
The twister's twisting. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I got dirty looks from the couch from the audience.
Come on, it's just facts.
You haven't even seen Twisters. You have no right to pretend like you understand.
Hey, I've seen Twisters.
When did you see Twisters?
After you recommended it,
I don't
sir.
recommend nothing to you. It was a movie.
I mean, I was gonna
right
see
there.
it anyway, but I did.
Movie of the summer.
No,
anyway.
Yeah, Twisters rules. What was like
Oscar bait?
What was like? But yeah. Anyway,
tornado.
That gas station scene is.
Oh, it's so funny. It's so intense. It's so sad. It's so like uplifting, and it's just hilarious. Oh man.
For sure.
Oh, no, it's so funny.
I echo your thoughts about We Live in Time. It's nice to see a romantic drama comedy that just shines a light about the relatability of not just adulthood, but also just falling in love, falling back in love in some regards, and just like the ups and downs. Actually, that's a very good way to word it. Accidentally falling in love, and just the thrills that come with that, but also in time, just growing with that relationship and through the unfortunate hurdles, of health setbacks or just fights that blow up to not feeling like they're meaningful fights, like they were just kind of silly in the grand scheme of things. Just those sorts of things that just, I don't know, fill you with a lot of emotions. The movie has a lot of emotions. Florence Pugh and Andrew Garfield, obviously great chemistry, and two actors who, in my opinion, just wear their hearts on their sleeves so well, whether it's, just themselves or whether it's just in their acting. So obviously those two working together was a perfect match. Can't say enough great things. Hope more people find this movie and check it out. It's terrific.
Yeah, I agree. I saw Tik Tok a couple weeks ago after the movie, and it was like, it was this guy, and he's like, I just saw We Live in Time, and Florence Pugh, he's like losing it. He's like, how is she doesn't look like a traditional like Hollywood glamour actress, but she's just smoking hot. She's human. She's a real person, and I love her. And I was like, amen, brother. Amen. Okay? Yeah. You're just speaking facts. I know that Andrew talked in an interview that they didn't hear cut during a lovemaking scene during the movie because they were so passionate and into it. And let's just be honest, I bet that was every scene. Yeah. There was a lot of passion flowing around in this movie, okay?
Not all sexual. But that's another thing too. I thought that the sex scenes in this movie were shot very well, like very what felt authentic, but not showy at the same time. Just very human and sexy, but not too much to where it's over the top. Because I think it's kind of a conversation, like in terms of like movie circles and maybe even outside of movie circles of like watching sex in movies or like should there be sex in movies and this and that.
Young people don't think there should be.
Yeah. I mean, for the young people that love Andrew Garfield and Florence Pugh, watch We Live in Time, and you'll see, like, there's good movies out there that do sex scenes right. So, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it's definitely not, like, there's no scenes that are sex position. I think one of the brilliant things about the use of it in the movie is that it feels like relatable. Like, the differences in when they do make love, there are times that they're intimate, there are times that it's just more passionate, like it's like real human emotion, and it's just driven by their performances at the end of the day. Like it really is. It's a really, really good movie by two of the best in the game right now. And apparently Florence, obviously, the movie is about her character getting cancer, so like that's not a spoiler. So she does shave her head for the movie, but I read that that she was going to do Thunderbolts or another Marvel gig, and Marvel was like, you can't shave your head. And she was like, no, I'm on another movie. I'm going to shave my head. And she shaved her head. And she's like, you can just put a wig on me for Marvel. And I love that. I think that's great. Stick it to the man a little bit here, Florence. I love it.
Yeah, I like that too.
Yeah.
It's important for that movie.
What do you want to move to next, Kyle? You pick. Come on, pal. Come on, buddy boy.
How far along are you with the Penguin?
Completely caught up.
Completely caught up? I think I watched episodes 5 and 6 from the last conversation. I think there was an episode 7. Does that sound right?
Is that the episode that aired last 2 nights ago on Sunday?
Then I probably didn't watch that one. Yeah.
So, yeah. Instead of, talking more about the show because we've talked about it at length. And if you're an episode back, there's not a whole lot new to talk about.
Okay.
I've got a rant. Okay.
I would love to hear it.
After this episode, all I've been seeing online, and we watched the episode tonight of filming this. This is right. We are fresh off of it. I didn't watch it Sunday or Monday night. We just watched it tonight. Okay. So, I had seen on like Twitter and TikTok or Instagram, I had seen a bunch of like these youngins who were like, how is Batman just not here? Like, it just doesn't make sense. This is a plot hole. Like, it's a plot hole, man. Like, where's the bats, man? Like, where is he? This has gotten too big. It's too big for Gotham's britches, man. Like, where's the Batman? That's what I was reading a lot of. And I
like the voice.
I just like, are we thinking critically here? First of all, there's a couple episodes still to go, even from the one I just watched. I think there's 2 left. 1 or 2 left. He could still show up. Yes, Matt Reeves said he wasn't going to show up. That could be a misdirect. It probably isn't. But like, let's just call a spade a spade. The first 5 minutes of the next Batman movie is going to explain why he doesn't show up. The beginning of the Penguin says, and the Batman hasn't been seen in a while. We haven't seen the Batman since that incident. We don't know where he is. Like how... My dog agrees. I'm hearing noises. I got a dog.
Big fan.
But like are all these nerds just want Batman? That's what they really want. They want Batman in the show. I want my Batman in the show. They go full Gungan, Kyle. Never. What's the rule? Yeah. Kyle, what's the rule?
Never, ever go full Gungan, Al.
Never, ever.
No, Al, never.
Misa!
Stop it.
But anyway, yeah, it just is... It's dumb. It's so dumb. Like when the Batman 2 comes out and the first 30 minutes is like Batman Begins and he's training with Ra's al Ghul or he's off doing something else, all the nerds are gonna be like, this is peak cinema. This is the coolest thing I've ever seen in my life. I can't believe how well they tied it into the Penguin show. Stop. He still might show up if he does. Awesome. Like they definitely don't need him. The show is fantastic. They don't need Batman. They don't need Robert Pattinson. They don't need him in it at all. It's that good. And it's so dumb. This is just fans reigniting the conversation to get clicks towards the end of the show so they can have more clicks for the next 3 weeks. That's what it is.
Oh yeah, it's that, or they forget that one context clue of saying that the Batman has been out of sight for a while now, so it's most likely we won't see him in the show. But I think it's also just the training of how this genre of entertainment goes when it comes to the superhero comic book genre specifically. We are just so used and inundated to having the things that we like to see thrown up on the screen in front of you, and they think that also includes the Penguin at the very last second. So, it's just not a very surprising combination of all those 3 things, and hopefully eventually we'll get past that line of thinking and people will appreciate this show, because I'm not loving it as much as Alex is, but it is a very good show and deserves some time.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, but
it's very good.
Just weird that people are worrying about seeing Batman.
It's gonna open up, like the next movie will open up with him being like, "You've been in a coma for a month, Bruce, because of the toxins. What is it? The venom or whatever? What does he get? What's the name of it? The substance or whatever that like in the comics that?
Come
on, you know what I'm talking about. Come on, guy. Come on, you're the guy.
Are you talking about the Bane venom? I think it was.
Yeah. What's it called?
I don't know.
Isn't that the rumor of what he got? He got like juiced up or something, and that's what was making him kind of go nuts towards the end of the movie.
Yeah, I remember that theory too. I just don't remember what it's called. I always just thought it was Venom or something, but there's probably
Venom. Oh, did you see the Venom movie?
Nah,
I'm good. Either I saw the first 2. I just no interest in this third one. Didn't really have interest in the second one.
No, yeah, I remember dreading watching the first 2 movies, and to not think about the third one just, I don't know, made me feel good this time of year, so.
Well, post-COVID Kyle, that was a wacko.
No, not for Venom. I think in this case we're right on the money.
I mean, fair enough. But anyway, what's next on the docket?
Well, you have been having so much fun during this spooky season.
Oh my god!
Watching some horror movies for the first time, or rewatching some horror movies, or just whatever you can get that's gonna make you feel scared and all that. So I want you to rant and tell me about all of the best movies that you watched or rewatched, and just give out recommendations to the people, give some thoughts on movies, and what do you got for us? What did you find?
Heck no, I'm going to read off every spooky movie I watched in October.
There it is.
So I started with Rosemary's Baby, then I did You're Next, then parts of Megalopolis, that counts.
Terrifying.
In the Club. God, that movie's bad.
Yeah.
Then I watched The House of the Devil. I rewatched Parasite. That was not for spooky. I mean, it was kind of for. It was for spooky season. I take all that back. It was for spooky season. Parasite. That's part of it. I've seen Parasite. Some of these I've seen. Some of them I haven't. The Ring. I watched the original Ring. So Ringu. Not. I watched both. I watched the American and Ringu. I watched original The Omen. I watched Let Me In. I watched Caddo Lake, which is a newer movie on HBO.
Is that the one with Dylan O'Brien?
Yeah, it's underrated.
Ooh.
Nice little fun little mystery flick. I had a good time with it. Yeah.
Nice. All right.
Depending on now I'm just going through all of my October. Depending on how you feel about intense drug use, Saturday Night definitely does fit that horror vibe. A lot of cocaine on SNL back in the day, probably still today. I watched the original Smile. I watched the first Terrifier. I did get about 30 seconds into Terrifier 2, but more like 5 minutes. And I just, for some reason, forgot about it until this very moment. So I should go back and finish that.
Was the first one good?
No.
Oh.
But I wanted to watch the second one because I was thinking about watching the third one.
I didn't know. I don't watch the Terrifier movies. I have no idea why people are watching.
I watched Women of the Hour. I'm going to just give a shout out to it again, even though it was not part of spooky season at all. Honora, freaking phenomenal. Let's see. I was looking for spooky stuff. So I'm skipping a few. I rewatched The Conjuring. I rewatched The Conjuring 2. I watched Possession for Kyle, part of spooky season. I watched The Exorcist. And on Halloween, I watched Get Out, rewatched Get Out. I had started It, the first It from 2017, before spooky season ended. I finished it on November 2nd. So I did watch it, but I also watched It. I watched It Chapter 2 because I was still kind of in the vibe. I also watched, I saw The TV Glow finally, and I watched The Visit.
Ooh.
Those last 3.5 were technically in November, but we're gonna push them into October. So I watched a lot of spooky content over this time.
Okay. So first I want to ask you real quick about I Saw the TV Glow, because I really enjoyed that movie. So I want to know what you thought.
Let me read my review that I wrote on Letterbox. You should check me out on Letterbox. I wrote fun, weird, millennial horror. It's a good time, and that's it. That's all I wrote.
Fun,
and that sums it up. It's definitely weird A24 horror. Felt millennial-esque to me because it's like I don't think a lot of younger kids watch that and kind of get this old school VHS old weird horror shows. Using it through that. But I liked the horror. I liked some of the kind of twists at the end and the mental toll. And his name's escaping me, but the main actor, I like him. Yeah, I like him. He's very underrated as an actor. Great in Detective Pikachu. But I thought it was a fun little flick. I think
you're the first person I've heard describe I Saw the TV Glow as fun.
I watch Prisoners twice a year, Kyle.
I know what
that's
your
my
definition
of fun is. I love fun horror. Hey, if a horror movie is good to me, it's a fun time. Okay, Terrifier's not a good movie, but I weirdly had a fun time watching it, and it's bad, and I don't recommend it because it sucks. But Art the Clown's gonna come after me, but that's okay because I have my copy of Pokemon the movie 3 right here on VHS to protect me from Art the Clown.
Iconic VHS cover.
I have 2 of these.
In VHS?
Yeah, I have this exact same thing. My grandmother gave it to me for Christmas, and my mom gave it to me for Christmas, and my mom made a big point. I remember this to this day. My mom made a big point and said, we can take ours back and get you a different movie. You can pick a different movie. And I said, no, I can watch one upstairs while the other one's rewinding downstairs. And so I still have both of them to this day. I got this out to test something I've been doing with old VHSs. So I just happened to have it here and thought that would work for the jokes. But that's awesome. Yeah, I watched a lot of horror. Out of all those movies, let's see, what do I think my favorite is? I'll take Get Out. I'm going to put that out, and I'm going to put Parasite out of the conversation here because those are
they're the
two to recommend. Yeah. Let's see here. Let's see. I was really thrown back by how good Smile was. I remember I liked it a lot. I remember people saying that when it came out. They were like, this movie's actually really, really scary and really good. And then when the sequel got these just rave reviews, I was like, I'll just watch first Smile, and then I'll catch it once it hits streaming if I don't get a chance to go see it in the theater. And I liked it. And people are saying that Smile 2 is really good, like way better than the first. And some people are like, why is get Naomi Scott an Oscar nom, I've heard. Wow. I've heard a ton of high praise.
Nice.
So I wanted to check that out to see how that would be. And I liked it. I also want to give a shout out to Let Me In, which was directed by Matt Reeves. It's back to the Batman and the Penguin here. I remember seeing trailers for this movie when it came out, but kind of got lost. It's got Chloe Grace Moretz in it, and it's a romance story with a horror wrapped into it, with a vampire twist wrapped into it. And
it's on Tubi.
Nice. Kyle, you gotta love Tubi. Tubi's great.
Yeah.
It's better than your app from the library. And I love the app from the library, but Kyle was like, they got a lot of bangers on there. And I looked through it and I was like, Kyle, these aren't bangers. They really don't.
Yeah.
I didn't find a single movie I knew the name of.
That's crazy. Look deeper. You'll find some. I found In the Heat of the Night on there. Like that, they have some.
I looked for. Maybe it's because I'm through a different library.
Possibly.
Maybe I get access to different things.
Maybe. Although you're from the Philadelphia Library of
and they're like, my guy, it's easy to get anything here, so we're not going to give you nothing. Okay.
Hey, that could be it. That could make a lot of sense. But anyway, Canopy, free with a library card. Support your library. There you go.
Yeah, I really liked. As much as I hate Roman Polanski, I totally got the hype of Rosemary's Baby. I understand why it was loved when it came out. It is haunting in a way you would not think. Roman Polanski, you suck and you deserve to rot in hell. But Rosemary's Baby was very good. Let's see. I enjoy. Go ahead.
I was just going to mention, you said The Omen. That's definitely one high on my list of horror movies that I need to watch, because I got more curious about it once I saw the first Omen that came out this year. I thought that was a pleasant surprise.
That's a remake, isn't it?
It's supposed to be the prequel to the original Omen movie, which whatever, I don't really care. Nor does the movie really care that it's a prequel. At the very last second, it gives you the realization that it's all been a prequel, but otherwise the movie on its own.
How do you know if it's been a prequel if you haven't seen the original?
Because they name dropped the kid of the first movie, I believe.
Yeah, okay. Because they
made it so blatant that I was like, I gotta Google this name.
So does it end? Slight spoilers, I guess, for either of these movies. Does it end with the kid getting adopted then?
That's the implication, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Because the husband in the original Tricks doesn't tell his wife that he's adopted. They think that it's their baby.
Okay.
But yeah, I actually thought it was. I had heard good things. I found I think it was an IGN article. Because last year I did all the spooky, like the notorious ones. I watched Texas Chainsaw. I watched Nightmare on Elm Street for the first time. I watched like a bunch of the big name ones, or like kind of the more iconic known guys. So this year I wanted to kind of hit some of those ones I haven't heard that were good. I am running out of options here soon. You're gonna get into the Freddy versus Jason, which low-key kind of want to see, but gotta wait till next late September is when I usually start. But
stands to reason.
But I thought the first Omen, it was on this IGN article pretty high, and it disappointed me a bit. I didn't vibe with it as well as I thought. It was a little too old school movie not meeting horror, where like Rosemary's Baby's around similar time frame, and it draws you in with the character work, and it just. So when that's slow, you're interested because it's kind of so nutty and the performances are so good. But with The Omen, I didn't get that vibe as much. So it was like, all right. And then it's like, my guy, just pick your kid up and get some holy water on him. What are you doing? Come on. Come on. So I thought it was okay. I gave it 3.5. I mean, I thought it was okay. You might like it, but I forgot about the Russell Crowe movie. I might have to check that one out because I heard Gladiator. That was also really good.
Yeah.
Gladiator 2 coming up.
Dude,
these historians can't handle the fact it's not a documentary. You've been seeing all that?
Yeah, of course I have. It's whatever. It's fine. I think people should realize that a movie can be mainly fictional.
Yeah, if you wanted to watch history, go watch a documentary about it. Go watch a Ken Burns documentary about something. You know what I mean? Like, what do you like? I don't believe the original Gladiator is considered very historically accurate. So, like, his Napoleon movie got flack for not being super historically accurate to a lot of the stuff about Napoleon.
Yeah, stop asking Ridley Scott to be accurate. He does not give a crap. He's the last director to give a crap. Stop doing that, people. I don't. It's so weird. It's nuts.
Yeah, weirdly though, the only movie of his that is a straight documentary that is historically accurate is The Martian.
Yeah. Well, we all know that actually happened. It actually happened.
Speaking of The Martian, man, I don't read books very often. I'll listen to books very often, but when I do listen to them, okay, I read Project Hail Mary, the guy who wrote The Martian. His name's escaping me. It's on the tip of my tongue, but I
can look it up.
His Project Hail Mary with Ryan Gosling just wrapped production. Oh my gosh, am I just so hyped for it? And I am so nervous for it because for the first time ever, yes, Andy Weir, and weird. For the first time maybe ever, I truly understand what all these bookworms have been complaining about. They're like, what if they don't touch on the things I love in the movie? I will hate it forever and ever if they don't touch on the one thing that I myself drew such love and admiration for that, not a lot of other people may have. But I'm actually really excited because I think Ryan Gosling was the perfect wit and humor to play. Oh. I mean, it's going to be a similar style character to Watney from that Matt Damon plays in The Martian. It's going to be a very similar. That's his bread and butter. It's going to be a very similar witty character. Pop culture references, but I think it's gonna be really good. I hope it's really good because
who's directing it again?
That's a great question. I don't know.
Yeah,
let's find out.
No, this movie's not so much on my radar, so I don't really know myself.
Kyle, I couldn't give a rat's bahootie about recommended books, but I'm gonna be honest. If you got an Audible account or Spotify, I mean, you don't spot it up, but But if you have options and you're interested in a book to listen to, the audio book for Project Hail Mary, Kyle, I couldn't put it down. I've never done that.
The headphones.
Like, I loved the Harry Potter books when I was driving around late at night listening to them, and I could put those down. I could not put those. I loved it. And I'm a simpleton. So if you're ever interested, Kyle, that's right. It's Phil Lord and Chris Miller. This movie's going to hit hard, and it's directed or written by Andy and Drew Goddard. Drew Goddard's written nothing but, tons of bangers. He's written tons of stuff. I think he wrote The Martian.
Was that him?
Wrote for the Daredevil TV show. He wrote for The Martian. Yep, he wrote The Martian. He wrote the World War Z, wrote Cabin in the Woods, did a bunch of stuff on Buffy, wrote Cloverfield, Bad Times at the El Royale. Yeah, this movie. Yeah, this is... I bet you they had so much fun filming this with all the wit and humor in this movie. Like, it's going to be... I hope it's as good as the book is, because the book's awesome.
Ryan wants to be funny.
He is a funny guy. He's
wants to be funny
he's always been. He's always been funny.
I'm saying he wants to be funny again. He's
tired of the dark, depressing roles.
I think so. I think Barbie lit a spark for him. I think he wants to do that type of thing again.
Yeah. Let's go. We have time. Let's go look at his filmography here in the last recent years, and let's see what the difference between funny and non-funny is.
Watch myself be proven wrong for his future projects.
Fall Guy, funny. Barbie, funny. The Gray Man, that had some funny. First Man, no funny. Blade Runner, no funny. La La Land, some funny. The Nice Guys, very funny. The Big Short, very funny. Gangster Squad, no funny. Place Beyond the Place Beyond the Pines. A tongue twister, and let me tell you, did somebody say twisters? Ain't no love in Oklahoma.
Whoa! It's just windy.
I get blown away. Woo! I'm going to make that my bit the rest of the year. Did somebody say twist? Whoa! Whoa! Ain't no... Place Beyond the Pines, I still can't say it. I'm so thirsty. The Place Beyond the Pines is one of the most underrated movies in, like, the last, I guess 15 years or whatever since it's come out. Like, it is so good. It's so underrated, and he's so good in it. So I think he's actually been doing a lot of back and forth. Then Crazy Stupid Love, funny. Then Drive, not funny. Blue Valentine, not funny. The Notebook, kind of funny.
Yeah, he's funny.
Remember the Titans? Not funny.
He's funny.
Yeah, but that's not like a funny movie. But that's not a funny movie.
No, not like that, no. But I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a good role.
When he was on Are You Afraid of the Dark? Very funny.
Probably.
So I feel like he's... I get where you're coming from, but I do think he's just kind of... He's kind of like, yeah, this looks good to me. Like, I think he's just kind of like, hey, this looks like a pretty hard-hitting drama. I can do that. And then he's like, hey, I can be wit and funny. Let's do it. Yeah. God, Blade Runner's so good.
True.
And he is really good in First Man. I'll never forgive that shot in First Man.
Oh, I know.
Claire Foy walking across the street, and Damien was like, we got to capture everything. Damien couldn't keep up. The cameraman tripped or something on the way over. It's the only shot in the movie that truly didn't belong. It still to this day bothers the heck out of me.
Oh, I
think
know.
about it in my dreams.
I can't believe that's the one shot that...
I know. It's a good movie.
I hear you talk about it. Yeah.
That shot haunts me the way that the Avatar font haunts Ryan Gosling in that SNL skit. That's how it haunts me. Oh, funny. That SNL skit's hysterical, Kyle.
Yeah.
You ever seen that one?
Yeah.
Oh, it's so good. All right. Well, let's wrap this up a little early. We got nothing else to chat about. I want to go home. I am home. All right. Guys, what did you think of today's episode? Comment below. Let us know. Remember to like, subscribe, and share. And as always, thanks for watching, Mom.
See you guys.